one podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast, the podcast where we delve into those salty mines of the Magic the Gathering community, find the saltiest stories, the salty posts that we love, those salty confessionals that we crave. We put them in our mine cart and we bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors at home. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined with my two co-hosts, Mike and Tony. Say hey, guys.
What up, what up, what up?
Hey guys.
Ooh.
It's been a while since we've thrown that one in there.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
I was literally biting my tongue to like stop myself from doing it, but you did it anyway. So
Oh,
cool.
man.
Cool.
And before we step into the mine any further, we got to do it. You know, we got to shout out our nice tier patrons.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And this week we have Alex Balix, Crean Bean, Hephaestus Bolts, Prime Speaker Florian, Yafe Judge, Accidental TPK, Royal Flood, Digimans, and Dr. Black. Thank you
Ooh.
for being so nice,
Wah.
everybody.
Wah.
Appreciate that shit.
Wah, wah.
Woohoo!
Wahoo!
You're so nice, you really make me want to say, did Zoom pick up on any of that?
That's sadly, I don't think it took it. I don't think it did.
Garbled.
It was like picking it up, but then it was like,
really
oh,
nice.
you want this filtered because
Oh.
you don't want this to happen.
What a
But it was like,
shame.
no, it's kind of nice. Like it
Yeah.
should let it happen. So
Yeah.
it went
My
back and
Mario
forth.
dying sound. Wow.
See, that one was much better.
Oh,
That was
okay,
good.
here
That
we
was
go.
good.
I
You
did-
didn't need to back up. You
I had
didn't
to
need that
restrain
earlier.
myself a little bit for that one, though. I wasn't going as whole hog into it this time.
Mm.
So what's new,
Did Mario
guys?
do that?
Well, my mom's book is coming out soon, which is
Oh.
pretty exciting.
That's sick.
It's getting all kinds of like press. It's going to be very cool. I think it's going to be a great book. It's on like Amazon's top 10 for
Oh shit!
the month. It's on like,
Oh
I think
damn,
there's
that's like a big deal.
it's just super cool. I think people will be interested in it. I'm gonna shill for my mom, of course. So,
Yeah, at some point you should probably say the title of the book. I would hope.
so it's called Antibot, and it's by Sierra Greer, and it's like a near future sci-fi book, and it's about a robot companion, like sex work companion robot that is owned by a guy named Doug.
Wow.
Is it Doug from the Discord?
No, that's
the
a dog.
It's
I
the
know it's a
dog.
dog. I know it's a dog. I'm just double checking.
Yeah, but it's wild. You're reading from her perspective.
Oh, from the robot's perspective?
From the robot's perspective.
Oh, wow. That's
cool.
And she's kind of a new model that's like supposed to be able to learn and develop new skills and think through things. So there's sort of this discovery of humanity a little bit through it.
Oh, that's sick, dude. That sounds awesome.
It's really cool. I read through it in like, I was actually reading it at Chicago, and I was like, I can't quite get through like I'm at a MagicCon. I need to finish that first, and then I'll read this. But yeah, read through it since I got home, and it's great. People like breeze through it when they read it too. So
That's cool as shit, dude. That's awesome.
When is it available?
it comes out on March 19th. And you can
Okay,
pre-order
dope. Oh,
it
shit,
on
so, like, soon.
Amazon stuff. Yeah, really soon.
That's
That's why
really soon.
Maybe
well,
even
shit.
when this episode airs, it is already
I
out.
think is this coming out next week?
I'm hoping.
Yeah, so this
Never
will
mind.
this will be right before
Right before it.
right before basically. I knew I was timing this, guys.
That's
I knew
pretty
it.
cool, man.
Yeah.
I hope that, you know, since it's about like sex work and stuff like that, I hope our podcast has been educational for your mom to pick up on such terms like dropping
Oh my
loads.
god.
Shooting rope.
Yeah, shooting rope.
Can you imagine?
I am a proud
Did that appear in the book at all?
No, but I am a proud consultant. She reached out to my brother and I to ask for help with an endearing insult that one, like, you know, a guy our age might call one of his friends.
You got to tell us. You got to say what it is.
No, you have to read the book.
Oh, damn.
You fucking tease.
That actually is a
man.
good tease because I really do want to know what you said.
I know.
Uh-huh.
But once I read that insult, the book's going down, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll read the whole thing.
You get to the end of the book. Did I miss it? Read it again.
Was
Like,
it? Where was it?
Is it cock gobbler?
I won't be.
Is it
No.
cock?
I will say she ended up taking a combination of two of the insults that we had proposed.
whoa, a little
Oh,
wombo
wow.
combo action.
So a little smashing together of some opinions there. Yeah.
So it's familiar, but it's like near future where you're like, well, we aren't quite saying that yet. Just come up with some new slang.
Yeah, right. That's like a little hip, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great.
Oh, that's dope, dude. That's really cool. That beats the shit out of the opener that I was gonna do, which is talking about how much I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, and the weather was good today too, right?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of shit, unfortunately. Oh man, that's
Man,
awesome.
that's
though,
super
dude. That's
exciting,
fucking
dude.
sick.
Good for your mom.
Hell yeah.
Fucking get after it.
There is a funny little bit of unlucky search engine optimization that I feel bad about because Annie Bot is also the name of one of the practice dummies in League of Legends. And I
Oh,
didn't think about
no.
that as a warning until like now. So if you just search the name, sometimes a League of Legends character shows up, but usually it's
Yeah.
like, I think it even shows up if you like,
I get the
type
book
it in.
immediately
yeah,
when
you
I
get the
search
book
it.
right away.
It's the book, a Twitch account, the book, a Twitch account, and then League of Legends stats.
Yeah. Soon
Nice.
it will just be the book.
I can't type any bot Mike's mom. It's not going to come up if I do that.
It won't. It won't come up.
Damn it.
I don't know. Will it? Yeah, it doesn't come up when I do that. Oh, but it does come up in the image search when I do that.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy.
Nice.
Oh man, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Man, wow. That's fucking wicked
That's
cool.
fucking super dope, dude. I love
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah.
congrats to your mom and hopefully some folks pick up that book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What kind of jelly you guys putting on those things? You know what I mean? I'm kind of a
what do you
strawberry
mean, what
guy.
kind? Fucking Welsh? Oh, no.
Yo, blackberry jelly though.
Oh, dude, I
That
feel
shit
that.
slaps. That or
I
raspberry. It's
feel
blackberry
that.
or raspberry.
Oh
all
my God.
day.
It's just grape jelly for me.
Ugh.
If it's going on a
The
PB&J,
weakest-
whatever.
the
I want
weakest of
fucking
all the
Welch's
options.
fucking grape jelly on my fucking PB&J.
Well, sometimes I would sprinkle salt.
I literally was gonna be like, they don't have butter in the mine, so maybe we should get in there.
You know, so some butter has salt and some doesn't.
Oh man. Well, we're doing something a little bit different today, guys. We don't have salty stories for you, but what we have are a collection of salty takes,
Salty tails.
things that make people salty. Well, you may have heard in our MagicCon Chicago episode that we went around on the last day of the con and asked a bunch of convention goers what makes them salty. And today we're going to be doing a what makes you salty lightning round, where we're going to try to zip through as many of these as we can, listen to them, chat a little bit about it, dip back in for another soundbite, and just kind of see where it takes us. This is an experiment, an experimental episode.
Yeah.
New ground is being tread. This is a whole new shaft in the mine.
So if you hate it, don't review us on this episode.
Before we jump into it, you know, we chatted with a bunch of people and we got a bunch of these sound bites, and we're not going to be able to hit them all. So if you gave us one,
Thank you.
know that we heard it and laughed at it and we appreciate it. And thank you very much for giving us your salt. We can't get to everything, but we're going to try to fit as many into this episode as we can. If we do have a bunch of leftover, maybe we'll do something with them someday. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
We certainly don't.
Since this is pretty new, like let us know if you like it, and if it's something great, then we'll probably continue trying to do it at other conventions we go to.
Yeah.
So let us know whether or not to, you know, keep spending our time asking people questions instead of playing more CDH games, because I know that was the decision for me.
Mike's not salty. Also, if this is your first episode of Howling Salt Mine and you've made it this far, get the fuck out of here. Go listen
Yeah,
to our
why-
regular content.
Why did you listen so long?
If you made it this far, like you do belong here, but not just start at a different one.
Yeah, don't judge us by this experiment. Judge us by our high quality other episodes that are tried and true. Well, should we get into it, guys?
But Sam, what's salt?
Thanks for asking, Tony. That's a great question. That definitely got there unprompted. So
Yeah.
organic.
Mhm.
It felt really organic to me, and that's what's important.
Salt is frustration in the game, as we like to call it. Salt is everything from the small grands to the full shakers. And it can be little salt, like the vibe is off at a table. Maybe somebody is kind of refusing your deals in a weird way. Maybe they don't want to have table talk. Maybe they're getting a little bit salty just because you're removing their stuff, which is typical gameplay. But for them, they're special and shiny. They don't want their stuff removed. And they're getting a little bit grumpy about it. That can be an example of little salt. Big salt are people blowing up all your lands, hub stomping you. Maybe they have a Thassa's Oracle deck in your pre-con game. Maybe they're disingenuous with your pre-game conversation about power levels. Or maybe they're just an asshole and they're mean and they're threatening you with physical violence or some other awful, deplorable thing that should not be happening in an LGS. Salt is really an umbrella term. It's a range, and we are here to talk about all the different types of salt. And even more so in this episode, we're going to be talking about a lot of different types of salt. So I think by the end of the episode, you'll have a pretty good picture of what salt is. And we talk about it because it's educational. This is an educational show, really. We want to learn about salt so we can hopefully not be salty in a future game that we play.
Nice. Organic.
So organic.
That was organic as fuck, bro.
Yeah. It's about as organic as a 40-pound chicken.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
We should.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it. Let's jump to our first soundbite.
What's your name? I'm Ryan from at Commander Paradise.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ryan, what makes you salty, dude?
What makes me salty is people who play extra turn spells without knowing how their deck works. That's my
That's
least
so
favorite
specific.
thing. They don't know what the deck does, and they're just like, I'm going to take an extra turn. Why?
Yeah.
You want to play an extra land? That's cool.
It's a really good growth spiral.
Dude, sometimes an extra turn is just a growth spiral. Valid if that's your plan, but it often is not.
It's a lot of dirtling. So, yeah. I don't hate extra turns, just when you don't know what you're doing.
Yep. Hell yeah. Appreciate that, dude.
You're very
good.
That's a good one, man. I completely agree. I think directionless extra turns are a huge source of salt.
Yeah. Well, I remember this one because of the specificity of not just the extra turns, but it's when you don't know what the fuck your deck is doing. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it, and so you're just continually taking more turns. And you're like, bro, you're just slowing the fucking game down. What's going on?
The extra terms are almost just like a victim of the other part of not knowing what your deck is doing.
Yeah,
the
for
more that I
sure.
think about it too, that's the real crime. And then you just happen to have an extra turn spell in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's kind of this thing with extra turns where if you're in a turns deck or you have a turn spell in your hand, your goal becomes to cast the extra turn spell. But really, extra turns aren't a goal. They're like a means to an end. So if you're only thinking as far as casting the extra turn and then you don't really know what to do after that, you start your next turn up and you're just digging and dirtling and people are like, why did you waste our time with an extra turn? Is it truly to just draw a card and play a land?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's almost an expectation around an extra turn that you're gonna just fucking win the game. You play it and do they win here? And a lot of times they don't, and you're almost annoyed when they don't because you're like, okay, well now you're just delay of game, judge.
That definitely makes me salty too. I think people just
I feel
dirtling with extra turns is a big source of salt for sure.
Cool. Should we hit another?
Let's
do
fucking
it.
do it.
All right, what's your name, dude?
Karam.
And what makes you salty?
In CDH, I hate meta decks. Blue Farm, Kinnan, Rockside can all catch a bullet. Although I do play Kinnan as well, so you kind of got to do it.
The salt's in your veins.
Yeah.
It really is. And then I guess in casual, just instant speed scoops. I do not like that.
Yeah, bad manners.
If
Fucking
you're
bad
gonna
manners.
die to my combat trigger, just die. Or to my damage trigger, sorry, just die.
Yeah.
I'm attacking you with the intention of getting those treasures, that life gain, whatever it is. You need to die and play your part.
Based. So true.
Truly.
So true. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, dude.
Absolutely.
I feel like that guy fucking gets it.
Yeah.
Fuck blue, right?
On
Am I
both
right?
fronts. Screw meta decks. I play Cannon though. That shit is so funny.
That is so true in CDH, man, because I feel the same way. I want to play off meta stuff, and then I'm like, but these meta decks are good and they're fun to play sometimes.
No, but I mean, we talked about this earlier of like Blue Farm, or were we chatting about it or something?
Yeah,
like,
I think we're talking about it in our Discord about Blue Farm.
Blue Farm sucks. Blue Farm sucks.
Yeah,
it's legitimately a decent, good, solid deck. Puts up results, all the stuff, but man, it sucks.
The thing is, it is a good card pile. It's like almost the same as 5-color good stuff in CDH. It's just not running green. You know what I mean? It's just 4-color good stuff. Like I think I was saying in our Discord earlier that I really miss when Timna Crom was Opus Thief, because it had much more of like a defined identity.
Had an opinion.
You were like wheeling, you were really going hard for breach freeze wins and things like that. And it just had much more like flavor to the deck versus just being like, these are all the best cards that are just going to give me weird mid-range value and I'm going to control the board and then I'm going to win at some point. I also really liked what they said about instant speed scoops. The way they phrased it was play your part. And that is like so true with it. Like at that moment, your part in the game is to take the damage, allow the triggers of your opponent to go on the stack and to die. Like that is a critical part. You know, some cards need your opponents to die.
Your role is to fucking take it. Fucking take it.
Do your part. You're the heel.
Your death.
Here's my boot and it needs something to stomp on and you're the thing.
Yeah. Look, a WWE chair smash isn't impressive as no one's getting smashed. So you gotta stand there and flop.
Yeah.
Oh man, I agree though. Instant speed scoops, I think almost everybody gets salty at that. I haven't met a maniac yet that is like, no, I'm cool with that. It's great. Definitely scoop at instant speed.
Yeah, take whatever you can to have any kind of impact on the game, even if it's screwing someone over. Definitely do that.
Let's hit another one.
So what's your name?
My name's Jesse.
And what makes you salty?
When other people get salty about my Zergo land destruction deck.
Oh my god! Tell us about your deck.
It uses World Slayer. Nobody ever likes it.
Oh yeah, because World Slayer hits lands, right? It's everything, like clean wipe.
You use it when you use it with Zergo when you're attacking, and he's the only thing that doesn't get destroyed.
Does World Slayer kill itself?
No.
Oh my god!
It kills everything except itself.
It's so fucking gross, dude. and you say people don't like this deck for some reason.
It's all board wipe tribal. It's board wipe tribal
so it's
until
not just World Slayer.
Oh yeah, it's not just World Slayer. It's board wipes until I get to World Slayer.
Don't worry.
Oh man,
I would fucking hate it too.
You are a sicko. We found one. I love it, dude.
I love that the next story is going to be people playing Zergo.
Yeah, right. I love it, dude. Hell yeah.
Fucking sicko.
It's great. I love that.
There's always one.
Yeah.
Should we read World Slayer real quick?
Let's do it.
Let's not. I don't want people to start fucking putting in decks.
Yeah, don't buy it. It's actually super expensive. It's cost prohibitive. World Slayer is an artifact equipment, costs 5 mana to cast, and it says whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. And then Zergo Helm Smasher is a Mardu commander. I'm not going to read it top to bottom. Pretty sure he's a 7/2 if memory serves, and he is indestructible when it's your turn. So Zergo is just like, this is the Zergo build. People play Zergo, they play World Slayer, and they attack people and kill everything. And, you know, we say don't blow up lands unless you have a follow-up plan. And having Zergo out technically is a follow-up plan. So
That's
like,
a plan.
How big is he though? Like a 9 something?
7/2.
7/2.
A 7/2. That's still fucking like
She's through shouting people.
That's a lot of turns. Like definitely like gonna win. Pretty hard to not. But then there is a chance that somebody like pops a planes down, casts a Swords to Plowshare or something, and now guess
restarted.
What? The game has been fucking started.
Yeah, that's the danger. Or you know, they respond to the World Slayer trigger and destroy the World Slayer or something, or Zergo or what have you.
Yeah.
I guess the real tech is just run all like indestructible lands.
Oh, like Darksteel Citadel?
Yeah. And there's a cycle of dual lands that are indestructible as well now. The
So you at least
artifact
get 3
land
of those
ones.
in there. Yeah, those 3
Yeah,
artifact
so you get
lands.
3 of those.
I don't think there's enough lands to get anywhere near.
Darksteel Citadel, Cascading Cataracts. We're in business actually.
You got to stew.
And I'm brewing.
I mean, I can see why people get salty about this, but at the same time, you do have a plan. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's a hard one. Like, I think because the game doesn't end immediately, it is probably going to feel weird. And like Tony said, like, it's going to take some attacks to get there. But at the same time, you do have a plan. I can't fault you there.
I can't fault you. It's fucking stupid. Your deck is stupid. I hate that.
if I'm playing into a Zergo Helm Smasher deck, I am immediately asking if they run World Slayer. And I hope that they are truthful in that moment.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you're gonna know from the fucking smile that comes across all their faces when you ask.
The twinkle in their eye, the devious look.
Fucking shit.
I do like the whole like I get salty from them getting salty thing though. It's so emblematic of Commander players being like, I want to be able to do my thing. You guys can't like be upset that I'm just doing what the deck is supposed to do. It's like, yeah, you did build it. We got to be ready for that.
Exactly. I think we'll find a small theme there. It actually relates pretty well to our next soundbite that we have here.
And we have
Paul, or is it Punk? All that jazz.
Is it Punk? What makes you salty, Paul?
Oh, Toxville players.
Toxville players.
All day.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Because they all say the deck's not that bad. And then they all run clones.
You're fucking right.
Yeah.
They make clones and they make 50,000 slug tokens and they think it's okay.
Yep. It does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toxville, it's like Coma. There's like this weird thing where you get a creature on everybody's turn, costs 7 mana, and it just makes the game a slog. But when you have one, feels
it's
pretty
great.
good,
Yeah,
though.
you're stacking those slugs, drawing those cards.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, yeah, here's 5 Toxvilles, no legend rule. Oh, and what's that? I drew my deck in with the lab man out. Yeah.
GG's.
I haven't seen Toxville with clones, but that sounds awful.
That-
I have
that
heard
sounds horrible.
people saying recently that with all the printings, we're heading into the Clone Wars.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be
that's an
fair,
interesting
I
take.
do play Gyruda. I do play Gyruda clones.
My man, big dog.
You know I got all 3 printings of that, too.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the salt.
Oh man, that is a funny one. Big dog. Shout out to Paul playing Gyrudo. What a G.
I feel like the key thing there for me was how he talks about like the players who make these types of decks always say it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And like it's so true because they definitely do. Like anybody who builds like some super toxic deck is building it because they're like, this will be fun. Like it'll be cool. And they're blinded by it. I've done it. We've all fucking done it. Or we've like made a deck and we're just like, yeah, everyone fucking hates this. But you're just like, it's not that bad. Like, come on. And you're trying to justify why your deck doesn't fucking suck, but it does.
Yeah, I think a big problem with those decks is trying to play them at like lower powered tables. Like if you're gonna build a Toxrill deck, play it at power level 8, trash magic, and own up to what the deck is. Be like, I'm gonna play Toxrill. I'm gonna make 4 clones of Toxrill, and I'm gonna try to overwhelm the board and win. And you guys better come correct and try to beat me, or your decks better be just as broken and powerful.
Yeah.
So it's like a balanced game, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
It's whenever they try to like really pass it off as like, no, I can hang with a 7. It's, I got no tutors in this Toxrill list.
Right. Like, don't just, set the budget at $40 and then say, oh, it's only $40. It can't be that good,
Yeah, for Toxrill, but for other commanders, it's fine. Like Gyruda's cool.
Yeah, other
Gyruda's
mentioned commanders in the story.
I don't know. I think we'll have to jump to the tape on that one. Sam, edit that
So
out.
the next story, or
I do want to talk real quick about what you said in this soundbite, Mike. I don't know if people fully heard that, but talking about like the Clone Wars and how there are all these commander cloning effects, and I keep seeing them. I think there was just another one printed in the Fallout set that makes a copy of a legendary creature and strips it of the legendary super type. And to me, I do feel like that design space is getting kind of bloated. And I think it is making some decks kind of boring because like I find myself wanting to reach for clone effects when I have a linchpin commander that has like a powerful triggered ability or powerful ETB or something like that. Like obviously my Gyruda deck is built around clones. But even my Emoti deck, I was like, this would be pretty fucking good with a Spark Double in it and a Sakashima and a couple other clones, because then I can have 2 Emotis, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Like, no matter what you do, every commander deck would love to have another copy of its commander.
Yeah.
Even if it's not hyper linchpinny, it's still going to be built around the colors, like the way that commander works. So it's just like, why wouldn't you want it? And to your point, it just means like, okay, well, now I should be slotting that card into like every single deck that like can run the colors.
The other scary thing is you only need a certain critical mass of those copy and make it non-legendary in order for the other clones to start being effective as well, because you only need to hit one of those clones that de-legendaries it, and then you're off to the races. You can just clone it normally from there, like clone that non-legendary copy.
Yeah.
So, you know, as soon as there's like 3 or 4 de-legendary effects in a deck, you start getting pretty likely to hit one by the time you need it, and then you just follow it up with all of the other clones, of which there are plenty in the game. They've just been held back in Commander since the main things that you might want to clone are legendary and they have that nombo.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like a slippery slope, I think, with that design space. Like, I think we're going to get to a space where some of those clones just become ubiquitous in decks that splash blue or decks that have blue in them, because for the most part, they're blue. And I don't know, it's just going to be kind of a weird thing. I think it's a challenging space to be in.
And it's not like needed. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
agree.
Anyway.
Like, there was a time where I was stoked. Like, when John Arenicus's Vile Duplication was spoiled, I was like, oh, hell yeah. We finally have, like, a 3rd or 4th effect that can clone a legend. And now, I think there were, like, a handful in Doctor Who, and now there's a handful in Fallout. And I'm like, all right, maybe not that many, though, you know?
Yeah.
Especially in these side sets that I don't, care about as much. Like, I don't know.
That's how they get you to buy the cards.
I know. I don't want to have to buy them, though. All right, let's jump to another one.
So what's your name?
Tito.
And what makes you salty, Tito?
What makes me salty? I'd probably say Nekusar does.
Nekusar.
Even though I have a deck.
There's a trend, dude. People are like, this makes me salty unless I have it. Then it's cool. What do you not like about Nekusar?
Well, they always target you when you're playing them.
So that's the opposite side of it, right? That's not the, hey, what's happening? It's like, nah, leave my shit alone.
I never said I'm salty because I'm playing against Nekusar. I'm salty because they kill me because I'm playing Nekusar.
That is a good salt. I feel that, dude. I feel that salt for sure. Hell yeah. Well, thank you, dude.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Oh man, so funny. Shout out to Tito. Tito ripped the Fallout Collector Edition booster pack and like got some like banger cards and found us at the con and had us sign them for him, and it was just a vibe. It was very, very cool. I do love that though. That's so similar to the Zergo Land Destruction one, where it's like,
it is.
I don't like it when people get salty at me when I play my gross decks.
Yeah.
I love that we got Nekusar showing up in this story too, because we've talked about Nekusar like so many times. Like, at least made a stand-up appearance in like 5 episodes, I would bet.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it pops up constantly, dude.
Should we do another one?
Let's fucking keep hitting it.
Say what your name is.
I'm Shannon or Shannable.
And what makes you salty?
Okay, so I cubed yesterday.
Oh, this is salty from this.
Nice.
This is fresh salt.
And there was a person that was undefeated because of Hogak. And kept on bringing Hogak back over and over.
Kept bringing that hoe back.
Yeah, that hoe back. Bringing it back crooked. Yeah. Anyway. I removed it twice and he still came back.
Oh my god.
And I got demolished, and it was not a good time.
That's good salt. I love that because sometimes people are like, we'll just run more removal then. It's like, I fucking removed it.
I literally I
removed it multiple
sideboarded.
times.
So like after our first match I sideboarded to add more removal and I still lost. And I was like, oh no.
God. Love it. Well, thank you for the salt.
Well, thank you.
That is such a good one, man. I like even just hearing myself on the recording, I know what I'm thinking about. And it's fucking Archfiend of Ifnir.
Archfiend.
That one game where I removed it a bunch and Mike was like, well, you should probably remove it more, run more removal. And I was like, I fucking removed it twice, dude.
I thought you were just thinking about bringing Hoback back.
Bringing that hoe back.
I'm bringing hoe
Bring
back.
that Hoback back.
Should we read Hogak real quick? I don't know if we've ever talked about this. So Hogak, Arisen Necropolis. It's an 8/8 legendary creature avatar, costs 5 and 2 split Golgari mana. And it says you can't spend mana to cast this spell, but it has 2 abilities that will help you cast it: Convoke and Delve. So each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 or a mana of that creature's color. And each card you exile from your graveyard also pays for 1 colorless. And of course, you can cast it from your graveyard. And it's got trample. It just needs a little bit more, you know?
What makes me salty about this card is that I was with Mike drafting when this set came out, and I got this card, and I made a good deck, and I got my cheeks fucking clapped. Like I should have won with the deck I built. And I was like, am I bad? Like, what's going on? And I remember showing Mike the deck later, and he's like, you actually definitely shouldn't have. You should have fucking won. I was like, okay, at least I'm not total trash. Like, should have happened. I guess I'm a bad pilot, but like I built a correct fucking limited deck. So
yeah,
whatever.
the deck was fine, but I mean, something happened. So.
Piloting error, yeah.
Because I was learning from you how to fucking play.
Okay. I also probably 0-3 dropped that draft. So
Hogak is interesting because wasn't Hogak like the scourge of Modern for a little while?
Was it?
Yeah. It was incredibly busted and it got banned. I think it's still Modern banned.
Oh yeah, it is still banned in Modern. Crazy, man. Yeah. I've literally never played a game against Hogak. I think the thing that makes me salty about Hogak is that it's just makes for a very weird commander deck.
Yeah, it's not really a commander.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Despite being a legendary creature, it doesn't really make sense as a commander. I mean, you can convoke it in even when the command tax goes really high, which is cool.
Yeah,
so if you have it's just still, it's hard to put together the deck that like actually makes it.
I don't think so. I think it's just like a very basic Graveyard Matters Golgari deck is what it is, because it's like you just get all of the shit in your yard and like do stuff. Like you might not even need him to be out. Like it's probably not going to be around Hogak. Like he's a little beater. You might play him at some point, but like he's not the point of the deck, I should say.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that is like weird, because it's not really a build around commander, and then it's like, well, just put something else in the command zone.
Yeah, because it doesn't really do anything for you. It's like it's not that useful to be able to delve cards out of your graveyard into exile, right?
But in a 20 life format, I mean, an 8/8 trampler is a fucking house.
Yeah, it's a menace.
Like,
exactly.
Absolutely. Well,
all right, let's jump to the next one.
And what's your name?
I'm Brad.
And what makes you salty, Brad?
If I had to say one thing, it'd be Cyclonic Rift.
Oh, yeah, valid.
I like a good specific salt.
Yeah, very valid. I mean, when you have it, it's great. When you don't have it, it sucks.
It's like glue, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the 2-mana version of it that makes it salty.
Yeah, the mini one
mini
is
rift
annoying.
that really gets you.
Mini rift is really annoying. Oh yeah. Well, sweet. Thanks for the salt, guys.
Yeah.
You.
That's short sweetened to the salt right there, man. Just fucking psych rift.
that is short sweetened to the salt. Like nothing else to say. Mini rift is the worst. All right, next.
Mini rift.
Psych rift doesn't make me as salty anymore these days, you know?
Because you don't see it. When's the last time did we see a Psych rift get played?
I guess that's a good
True.
point.
We don't
really
run it at all. I think the thing about Psych rift that makes it less salty for us is we talk all the time about how, like, if you're going to have a board wipe, like, you got to have a follow-up plan or something. And, like, at least Psych rift, that's kind of built in because of the asymmetry of it, where you're just returning everyone else's stuff. So, like, usually you should have the follow-up for it, but
I feel you bigly there. Let's hit another one. This one's for you, Mike.
What's your name?
My name's Nate.
Nate, what is making you salty?
When timeless players always seem to have 3 Orcish Bowmasters in the top 15. Happens a lot.
See too many Bowmasters?
A little too many Bowmasters.
oh my god, dude.
I feel you. That's good salt. Thank you.
Is that something that happens a lot, Mike?
Yes.
In Timeless?
Yes, dude. The format is, I mean, when it came out, it was just like Bowmaster.format.
What is Timeless? What is like that format?
So Timeless is essentially every card on Arena.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Like everything.
Do people play that?
Yeah.
Like in
People play it,
paper? People in
No.
paper
No,
play
not in
every.
paper.
Okay,
It's
I
like an
understand.
arena-only format. It's
arena
basically
only.
like
Gotcha,
what is
gotcha.
it? Like an eternal format, but
Yeah, it's basically Legacy, but for Arena, and it's still
There it
missing
is.
some things.
Sure.
Like it doesn't have the power in it yet, but like it has things that are banned in Modern and banned in Legacy in it, or not
Does it have like
Legacy,
the
but
Power 9 conjure shit in it too?
it does have that. So it also has alchemy stuff in it. So, but honestly, a majority of the cards that people are playing are not alchemy cards. Like every once in a while in the queue, you'll encounter some people that are running an alchemy card or two, but usually it's everything else. But yeah, Bowmasters, the thing is Brainstorm is in the format too. So a lot of the early days of the format were what can you do to make sure your Brainstorm doesn't get Bowmastered and to keep up your Bowmaster when they're gonna brainstorm.
oh my god, dude.
If they brainstorm and you get a 3/3 and 3 damage off of one Bowmaster, that's pretty good.
Bowmaster's a replacement effect, right?
No, it's not a replacement, but they
It's a
draw
trigger.
3 cards.
Sorry,
So-
I mean, if another Bowmaster comes out, it's the latest Bowmaster, or
They all
are there
trigger.
just two? They all trigger.
It's not like
Oh.
Notion Thief. Yeah, they all
Yeah.
just trigger.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's the other
shit.
thing. Sometimes you'll play one Bowmaster, and then if they've got, if someone has multiple, they play the one, then you like maybe deal with the Bowmaster itself, but the army is still around. And then they play another one when you're trying to do something. And now the army is like a 5/5, and you're like, okay, really nothing for me to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you just juice up your orc army so much if you have multiple Bowmasters out. It's like insane, dude.
I love that. I love a little timeless salt.
Another one?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
Who are we here with right now? What's your name?
My name is Ross.
And Ross, what makes you salty?
Ooh. So there's two in specific things. Number one is repercussions. I hate repercussions.
And do you mean that generally, like consequences for your actions? Or
No, the card.
And why did you get so excited about that over here?
It hit the board one time, and I don't think I've ever seen him so salty. Like, he doesn't get salty, but like he got salty like immediately.
So I'll write in a story about it, but essentially, I play a lot of creature decks.
Yeah.
And I love creatures. So anytime that I'm going to combat or somebody plays a blasphemous act, I'm just dead. On the spot.
Yep.
So I despise repercussions. And then my friend, who shall not be named Bryce,
Prospectors know.
Prospectors will know, he makes me salty.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He makes all of us
His
salty.
existence. Yeah.
I forget the exact episode, but people can find it.
Yes. Sam in post-production will put it in.
Yeah, exactly. Sam in the recording room, put that in.
Yes, absolutely.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
Dude, thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Ross. Thank you, dude.
I love a specific salt, man. When someone says a specific card, that just like makes my heart sing because I know that they've been fucked over by that one card so many times.
Yeah. And I love that idea too. It's just like, I like creatures. I want to play them. Fuck this one card that always deals with that.
Well, that's the thing. Literally, he's like this one fucking card. Like, I feel like there's a lot. But repercussion sucks. I've had my cheeks clapped many a time by Nick specifically with this card.
Big cheek clapping episode for you today, Tony.
That has entered your lexicon so
like,
hard.
who are you
dude.
talking to that's really talking about clapping cheeks all the time?
Repercussions. I got him clapped because of repercussions. It's a repercussion of my actions.
I just feel like that has entered your lexicon, and it's not good. It's like slay and clapping cheeks has just like shot to the
That's
top.
all you're doing.
Yeah. Tony is
Slaying and clapping
Tony is
cheeks.
clapping cheeks. Tony is getting his own cheeks clapped.
Yeah. Just feels like the right description in this scenario.
Real quick, I am going to read repercussions for people who don't know it. It costs 1 and 2 red. It's an enchantment. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, repercussions deals that much damage to that creature's controller. So, of course, a blasphemous act dealing 13 to all of your creatures would kill you very hard. The interesting thing is that it's not asymmetrical. Like, if you have a repercussions out and you blasphemous act, you better have like 1, maybe 2, ideally 0 creatures on your board.
Yeah. But you can do that. You can have 0 creatures out. And often the decks running like repercussions, like Mogus or something, are these like spell slingery decks that are then following up with a board wipe.
That's a very, very good point.
Not always though. Like sometimes they're just swinging with like beefy red stuff and
Yeah,
like
with lifelink.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, block it, but now you're gonna take the damage anyway, and your creatures like
And your
it's
creatures
fucked.
die, yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, such a vicious cycle.
Dude, what about like a Firesong Sunspeaker deck where your
I'm sure
red
it's in
spells
that.
have lifelink and you just
Oh, yeah.
dude, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm brewing it.
Does the spell deal the damage, or does repercussions deal the damage?
Repercussions deals that
deals
much
the
damage.
Okay, so you need to find a way to give repercussions lifelink.
But you would still, your spell, like your big Bernie board wipe would still gain you a shit ton of life before I think you would break even.
Oh, true. Yeah, but we need blue in there. It's got to be Jeskai so that we can animate enchantment, animate repercussions, and then give it lifelink.
Yeah, Dance of the Mance. You
Yep,
dance of the Mance, your
repercussions.
This is so ridiculous.
Give it indestructible, and then
she dance on my Mance until I repercussion.
Oh god, dude. Also, because I said that I would reference it, that Bryce salty story is in episode 58. So go check that one out. It's a fucking banger. That dude is a big piece of shit. Sorry, Bryce.
Sorry, Bryce.
Sorry, Bryce.
Let's keep this train a rolling.
Let's keep on rolling.
Rolling.
Say my real name, or should I say?
It's
You
up
can
to
be
you.
like, I'm
Yeah, what's
fun
your
of
name, dude?
I'll just say Scott.
Hell yeah.
Big dog.
Scotty
boy.
Scott.
Scott.
And Scott, what makes you salty?
I hate theft decks. I cannot stand theft
Valid.
decks. My best buddy that I played with growing up, that's all he did was just Esper control and theft. So now I have Homeward Path in all my decks basically.
Little PTSD Homeward Path.
If you see Homeward Path spiking, it's because of me, because I'm buying all of them.
Hell yeah, dude. That's good tech too.
It
People should be
is.
running that card more.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks, Scott. Thanks for the salt.
Thank you.
Big dog.
Big
dog.
Theft decks do suck.
Yeah, theft decks fucking suck, man.
It's true.
Whenever I come up against a Queen Marchesa deck that is
Or a
I
Rubinia
know they're
deck, or
shit. Yeah, or Rubinia. People who brew that shit are
real dicks.
probably real shitty.
Yeah.
I would
I think it's
guess.
interesting that honestly we went this far into the salty stories that we captured and didn't hit on one. And I think part of that's because they're kind of meta dependent. I feel like you don't hate a theft deck until you've had one played against you. And then you're like, yo, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I also think that it's something that kind of gets soft rule zeroed out of the format, like a social ban kind of thing, because it does make people so frustrated. It's one of those decks that we kind of talked about it earlier. On paper, it seems so cool. And then you play it and all your friends are just really sad. And you're like, what am I doing here?
And that's usually it. They're sad. They're not mad. They're sad.
Yeah, they're
which is
demoralized.
distinctly different.
The first time that you threaten, steal someone's creature, they're your enemy for the rest of the game. And then you do that multiple games in a row, and then that deck is their enemy every time it comes down, and you don't even get the chance to go for it. And I also feel like just a lot of threaten effect, or not threaten only, but just generally a lot of theft effects are pretty bad rate as a card in general. Usually you're paying a pretty steep price to steal something from someone else, except for steal enchantment, which is great.
Pretty cheap and pretty awesome.
Yeah. And very cool.
I think when it comes to theft decks, I would rather have you just destroy my creature than steal it and use it against me and then sacrifice it. There's something psychological about it. It's I would rather you let my creature resolve and hit the board and immediately destroy it than counterspell it. I don't know why, because the end state is almost exactly the same. But there's just some kind of psychological thing where I feel less salty when there's just typical single target removal. But when you're taking it an extra step and I don't know, it just does something. When you're using my resources that I've spent my cold hard mana on, it just does something to my brain.
Yeah.
The last thing we were recorded, you were talking about building a fling based deck.
Oh yeah, dude, that deck fucking rocked though. But that was 1v1. That was a 1v1 theft deck. And it was literally all the theft effects, all the fling effects, and bone splinters and anything that could sacrifice a creature for value. Oh, that deck ruled, dude. I still have it. I still have it together. One of the few decks I keep together for nostalgia purposes.
Oh my God.
All right, let's hit another one.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to get away from this.
So what's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah, what makes you salty
Infinite
in Magic?
combos.
Infinite combos.
Infinite
Damn,
combos.
I couldn't even get the
no,
question
it's
out.
fucking infinite combos.
Was there some fresh salt this weekend?
No,
Are you coming
actually.
right off of a game with an
I'm
infinite
not.
combo?
No, my play group at home, some of the guys do a lot of infinite combos, and it drives me up the fucking wall.
Now, what don't you like about infinites? Do you not run them?
I don't run them at all.
Refuse to?
Absolutely refuse.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so you made 1 million mana. Like, how did you just, how does that make you win?
But it's so fun to make infinite mana.
Talking to the wrong person. I got you. I feel
You're
you.
getting no
I feel
sympathy
you.
from me. I appreciate the
none.
salt, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think infinite combos are fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
That
Sarah.
was quick though. You literally didn't finish the sentence.
I
They're
love
like
that
infinite
she went
combos.
right for it.
Yeah, she just fucking hit it. Yeah, I mean, infinite combos. I get it. They make people salty, but I love them, man. You know what I mean?
It's one of the sad ones where like the only way to get through that is to play them, sort of, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if you've got other people playing them, it really is like you brought a blade of grass to their gunfight. Like you didn't even.
I feel like she was hinting at something deeper there, though, of like, okay, you have infinite mana. How does that make you win? Of like, there's also something about like infinite combos that don't actually end the game. It's just like, okay, I have infinite mana. I'm lording this over you. I have accomplished everything. I've basically won. You guys should just concede. Which I have seen shit like that happen where someone's like, I now have infinite 1/1s. It's like, okay, do they have haste? No? All right, then we got to play out these turns.
Yeah, let's fish for a board wipe or
Just
something.
infinitely tap and untap your basalt monolith, you know?
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I mean, I get that aspect of it. Honestly, lately, as I've been thinking about like power level, I feel like if you have an infinite combo in your deck, it immediately pushes you up. Not because infinites are so horribly strong, but because the interaction suite that you need to stop an infinite usually doesn't exist in lower power decks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Often you're running things a little more sorcery or a little like less easy to deploy your removal. So it's definitely harder.
Higher cost, maybe less interaction overall, more like 3 mana value instant speed removal. So I think like if you do have a deck that has an infinite in it, you got to be upfront about that in a pregame. And if you're not, it's going to make people salty if you surprise them.
And you get to brag about what it was, right?
Yeah.
It's be like, this actually runs Basalt Monolith and Mesmeric Orb for an infinite combo so that I can mill myself. Thank you.
Does anyone want to hear me explain how it works? All right, let's hit another one.
What's your name?
Dan.
Dan, what makes you salty?
Actually, Spell Snare makes me incredibly salty.
Spell Snare?
Yeah.
The counter spell?
Yes, we're just stepping into CDH, and I've tried to deflecting swat, Spell Snare to different to deflecting swat.
Yeah.
5 times and failed 5 times.
Because it's so specific.
Because it's so specific, and everything resolves, and I hate it. I hate it a lot.
Yeah. Tony has the same hatred of the misplaying into the counter spells.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine, but it's just that one.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Appreciate the salt.
Those counter spells are dumb.
Tony doesn't know how counter
This
spells
is
work.
blue. It's like counter the fucking spell. So that's what I try and do. Like whatever. Fucking whatever.
I love this one, man. Spell Snare, for people who don't know, it's a 1 mana instant, cost 1 blue. Counter target spell with converted mana, cost 2.
It's such a random card to be super salty about. That shit's really funny.
It's hard to, you can't swat it to many things. Like
No.
it's a counter spell that sticks. It can't hit much, but you also can't change it to much.
Yeah. That's interesting. Sorry, how does it read again? Is it the converted mana cost is 2?
Yeah, counter target
Gotcha.
spell with converted mana cost 2.
Yeah, that's kind of brutal.
Yeah,
You're not
I
gonna hit
mean,
very much.
that's something that like doesn't come up too often, because often in our CDH you're swatting like a counter spell to another counter, but like with Spell Snare, your
You
options
can't.
are limited, man.
Yeah. It hits your Dockside and it hits your Thassa and it hits your Tainted Pack and the Underworld Breach. So it hits all these like critical. There's all these critical.
It hits a lot of
It hits
good
important
shit.
things for sure.
I mean, you think about the lack of creature counter spells in CDH is something people talk about all the time, and most of those creatures are 2 CMC.
Yeah.
Another?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
What's your name?
Patrick.
Patrick, what makes you salty?
When Tony shows up to the con and not Pat.
Fuck this guy. the fuck was that? Fuck you. Whoever you were, fuck you.
Oh man, that's
bullshit.
That's one of our Des Moines, Iowa friends.
Yo, fuck Iowa.
So good, dude.
Top tier, number one salty
man.
lightning round right there.
All right, there was more salt to it.
Very good. Thank you for the salt. You got a real one?
I think my own misplays.
Yeah, feel you there.
When you do it and you know you did it, and then you're like, well, there went the game.
Yep. Yeah, that sucks. I vibe with that. Thank you for the salt.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that a lot.
But
it fucking sucks, man.
Yo, fuck Pat.
That's great.
I talk about this every single time I play a game. I played a CDH game with Sam earlier this week, and after the game I was like, I think I did every single thing wrong that I could have done. And I don't even think I'm exaggerating. I think from turn 2 I think from turn 1 I was misplaying. I think I chrome moxed the wrong card, and all went downhill from there.
That is the worst. Chrome moxing the wrong card is like, I think there are these small decisions that can be made in CDH that like make or break a game, and it's what you put under the chrome mox, what you exile to Gemstone Caverns, and if you're in like a high multicolored deck, what lands are you fetching?
Yeah.
Like in a 5-color list, if you get the wrong lands, like I saw this picture on Twitter the other day where somebody had like 4 dual lands out and none of them had green, and they had a handful of green spells, and they were like, I fucked up. It's like so bad. All the mana dorks and like Carpet of Flowers are just stuck in their hand.
I mean, I guess I assume it's situational, but like, what is the first land you go to grab? Is it not? It's always something with blue, right? But like,
it depends.
It's often Tropical Island.
Yeah, I think Tropical Island is a big one because you need the green for mana dorks if you're in that color, and you need the blue for counter spells. Lately, I've been getting Tundra a lot.
Tundra and Savannah, bangers.
Yeah, Tundra and Savannah, because a lot of the white cards that are played in CDH are 2 white pips. And that can be really like your Ranger Captain and your
Grand Abolisher.
Grand Abolisher. Like,
yeah. If you don't do those fetches then down the road, you might find yourself strapped. Also, like if you leave 1 Tundra up, that's some of your 1 CMC counter spells, like your Swan Song, your Flusterstorm. It's also your swords. So
your silence.
It can be a ton of interaction on 1 single land. So I've been liking Tundra a lot lately.
I feel like I always grab Savannah first, but that's
no shit.
In your 2-color deck.
So aggressive, Mike. Oh my god.
Next you're gonna say you're getting into Badlands recently.
Yeah, with your fucking Ob Nixilis deck. Oh dude. All right, let's keep on keeping on.
Who am I here with right now?
I don't know their names.
No, Bobby Christine.
Okay. Oh, I'm Bobby Christine. Hi.
And Bobby Christine, what makes you salty?
Let's say control magic at the 1.5-hour mark.
Ooh. Oh, that is a good one. I love the caveat, the time limit.
I'm not saying control magic. You know, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it's like
you got to be done.
A second game might be a little funner.
Let's not board wipe one more time.
Right.
You know? I appreciate that. Thank you for the salt.
You got it. Happy salting. Is that a phrase? Are we using that now?
Happy salting. I love it.
Happy salting. Happy salting, everyone.
The lovely Bobby Christine. Thank you, Bobby. I love how specific that one is. Control magic at the 1.5-hour mark. It's like, yes, this is not the time to be board wiping. This is not the time to be slinging those hard counter spells. Like, let's just let the game fucking end.
Yeah, it's just good. Like,
yeah.
Yep.
And they're right? Because it's like, it is a part of the game, whatever. Blue still fucking sucks. We know we hate it, but like, that's really when you hate it the most. Like when it's like, can't we just have another game? Wouldn't that be more fun at this point? Like,
yeah.
Nobody enjoys a Magic game at the 1.5-hour mark.
It is super brutal. All right.
What's your name?
I'm Mike.
Mike, what makes you salty?
Anytime Dan touches my cards.
Why? Dan, you got the Cheeto fingers,
No,
dude?
I just touch him because I know he doesn't like it.
And why don't you like your cards getting touched?
Because if I leave a fetch land out too long, he's putting it in my graveyard for me. It's like, dude.
Oh, he's cleaning up your shit for you.
Dude, I'm not fast enough for him.
Oh, yeah,
he thinks I'm old and decrepit.
the clean game actions. He's like, that's in the yard, that's there. I get it.
And the fact that he puts Yargles in my shoes.
Oh, the Yargles.
I mean, that's just wrong.
Well, thank you for the salt. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
The Yargles, dude. The Yargle crew. Oh, man. This is actually a very unique salt. I've seen this happen, and I've been this person before, where someone casts an instant or sorcery and leaves it on the battlefield and then continues their game actions. And I'll like reach across and grab it and put it in their yard. And I never really realized that that's rude until right now.
I feel like I'm so bad at doing that, at being like, oh, I've played this instant or sorcery spell and now it's just on my board. And then like halfway through the turn, I'm like, oh shit, well, this shouldn't be here.
It's fine for Doomblade to be a permanent.
It's a good vibe. It's a vibe.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yo, hit us with another.
Yeah, let's do it. This is a good one.
So what's your name?
My name's Andrew, or Green Bean.
Hell yeah, Green Bean. And what makes you salty?
Landfall in casual EDH.
Landfall?
Wow. Yeah, the whole shebang.
Just land.
This is a take.
This is a take. I mean, the game's kind of balanced around playing one a turn, and the fact that it's taboo to even touch lands in casual is it's like playing with training wheels, in my opinion.
Honestly, man, I kind of agree. I think people, like, someone will get 6 or 8 lands out of their deck, and people are just like, yeah, they're just getting value. It's not like a huge thing, you know what I mean?
But when you have skewed swarms that multiply and spread, and
all those decks do.
Oh yeah, every single deck. Yeah, you can't even counter lands, so it's just don't
fucked,
touch
I
me.
guess.
Yeah,
strip mines
exactly. But that you can't do that in casual.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
People don't like that.
Exactly. Other than that, I'm good to go.
That's good salt, man.
Hell yeah. Well,
Thanks,
I appreciate
dude.
it, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I like that you were like, yeah, I agree. It's kind of like training wheels. Meanwhile, you're fucking bringing Simic bullshit Cascade decks and like
I'm not
doing
putting lands in,
bullshit.
Tony. I'm not putting any extra lands in.
Bullshit, you are.
Cut these mics. I do really love that take though, man, because it's like I said in the soundbite, people will not bat an eye at ramping like 4 land.
Yeah.
But then if you try to destroy those 4 land, they're like, whoa, like the whole table will be like, whoa, that's not cool, dude. You know what I mean?
It's like an endangered card type. It's like any other remove. Like if imagine a world where some other card type had like the same social contract of like, yeah, we just think it's nice for everyone to be allowed to leave their enchantments out.
Yeah.
No.
I think I actually like the training wheels comment the most. Because that's he's like, right. Like, I mean, what you want to do in Magic is get more resources to play more cards and do the thing. And it's like, it kind of is that. It's like, you just get away with it automatically and like get ahead of people. Like, if you're in green, your deck's ramping hard and probably better. And that's just like how it is. But I like green, so I'm going to keep doing that. But, whatever.
I mean, I think like if you were ramping 1 extra land a turn, it doesn't really like trigger alarms until it's almost too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It is a very weird thing. And it doesn't quite hit the same way that like if you had a huge board of creatures or a big grip of cards in your hand, like people aren't keeping an eye out for a shit ton of land on board or a ton of mana production until it's at that point where it's like a gross amount. It's like, oh, I'm making 20 mana on turn 6. And they're like, okay, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
You know who's good about that? Fucking Nick. Because I remember when I used to play my Omnath deck, I was like ramping like a motherfucker. It was turn like 4 and I already had like 7 lands, I think.
Yeah.
And he countered like some spell I had that was another land ramp. I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, dude, you already have like 7 lands. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, that's bullshit. But
oh, it's so true.
Distinctly remember that.
Let's hit another one.
What's your name?
Olive.
And what makes you salty, Olive?
Horrendously bad stacks players. So in my local,
me too.
So I play Krark Sakashima.
Yep.
And in my local meta, I play a lot of stacks guys, and 2 of my best friends like to play like Urza and then another WinCon stacks deck in Abzan.
WinConless stacks?
That's Timna Kamal, right?
Oh, where they're like, but I'm going to attack.
I know, they're like, yeah, I could swing over 92 turns and win.
Yeah.
But, and when you play a stacks piece that like a turn 1 root maze, you're probably not winning the game.
This guy played a turn 1 Sphere of Resistance earlier today.
And I did win the game, though.
Well, that's fair. And that's fair. But I played a game where, a guy had a really, really good turn 1, and then the opponent goes, oh, I'll play 3-ball, and then he shut out anyone else from interacting on the dude's next turn where he won the game.
Yeah,
so.
That's the problem. So I used to be a big stacks player. I played
Marath, right?
Marath stacks, and recently took out all the stacks, or
they know
most
me.
of the stacks. There's still some, like Manglehorn and shit like that. Like that kind of soft stacks.
Yeah, that's good stacks, yeah.
But because I was noticing that people would remove it and then unlock another player, and then that player wins.
And that's the other thing is the inability to play understacks, right?
Yeah. And it also, if you're playing weekly, it makes the game so long. You get targeted a lot. People don't like it. I don't know.
People really take 5 minutes to draw, play a land, and go, I attacked the black player. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's like you can only cast one spell a turn. Your turn should be fast.
Yeah, and you played it already, so I think you're not doing anything else.
That gets me.
Yeah.
Is people cast a spell under a roll-on, and then they're like, well, what else will I do? It's like, probably nothing.
That's
well, thank you so much for the salt. I appreciate it.
It's so I love this one. I really do think stacks gets a bad rap because the table can't deal with playing or like through stacks. Like, if you have nothing to do, you have nothing to do. Draw, go. Like, just do that. Accept it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have stuff to do, then do it. But you don't need to sit there like thinking about how miserable your situation is. Just play through it, and you'll get to the other side of it so much quicker.
I definitely agree with that. I just think, unfortunately, that is how Magic players play Magic in the current state of time. Like, all players do that. They're just like, they're going to draw their cards, sit there, think about it, and then eventually pass, even though they know they can't fucking do shit because you just fucking hate it. It's like it's bad feels, bad vibes.
Get good, though.
I think you're totally right at the end there when you're talking about rule of law. I can't tell you how many times Sam would cast a fucking rule of law and like have to remind people. Like somebody would play a spell and then be like, and he's like, are you? Because rule of law's out. Like so many fucking times. Fuck rule of law.
Yeah, I wonder if like in those instances, if it would be better after your first spell resolves, if I just say, and that's your only spell because there's a rule of law.
Yeah.
And just like say it. It's like, don't even go in the tank. Don't even bother thinking of what your next move is going to be because you don't have it. You should just pass.
Yeah. The only nuance there is like deafening silence or rule of law. Like sometimes you want people to think someone else can still play a spell so that you're not forcing their interaction. But then it's like there's some nuance of not wanting to call to attention that someone can't cast a spell sometimes. But I think that's a very uniquely CEDH event.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, you might want to like play it kind of cool, but let's do a few more.
What's your name?
Andrew.
What makes you salty, Andrew?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't get salty.
Wow. I bet I can.
Oh yeah, not drawing cards. Or no, drawing 20 of my 29 lands in a CEDH game.
Oh my god.
That
when did this
happened
happen?
with Mike this weekend.
Ugh.
Ask me about it.
That's disgusting. You
It's
just got
gross.
nothing. You were just
I was-
mana flooded
I drew
in a
so many
CDH deck.
lands in a CEDH deck.
What were
That
you
makes
drawing
me
them with?
salty.
Did you have like engines on board and stuff?
Mystic
like,
Study
Oh
and
my
Mystic
God.
Remora.
Oh
Ask him
my
about
god.
It. Sorry.
I don't wish that on anyone. It fucking sucks.
Drawing lands in CEDH games in general makes me pretty salty.
Trash.
Yeah,
That's why you cut them all. That's why you cut all the lands.
Yeah, I'm going down to 21 lands.
Yeah, go to 20, dude. Push it down.
Like
18.
Run like a standard list in regards to lands.
Yeah, and then add, get a standard list, add 40 additional cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Good salt. Good salt.
That's some good deck building advice in there too.
Yeah, we're an educational podcast.
So, Mike, we were asked by Andrew to ask you.
This is exactly what happened. He drew so many lands. Like I think Mulligan down to like 5 or something, like had to go a little bit low. But then truly like Fish and Ristic, and we like played around it just enough that he wasn't drawing, like a full grip. Like it wasn't like he was up to like 8 or 10 cards. But like every time someone didn't play around it, it was like, okay, like this will be the card that will get him back into the game. Land. Every time. And I think he literally of the top, let's see, I think it was probably of the top 12 cards of his deck, 8 of them were lands.
Oh my god.
Shit. Or rocks, like maybe like 7 lands, 1 rock, and like then 3 actual cards of action or something. It was
That's insane.
It was just so sad. Yeah, that was brutal. that would have made me salty too. The table gasped every time the next land got played. Because I think there was a point where he went down to 0 cards in hand, so we kind of, or like 1 or 2 cards in hand, maybe with some revealed information or something. So it was very clear to everybody every time that he ripped a card off of his hand. I think he revealed his hand at some point to be like, sorry, I can't deal with this. I just have lands. And then continued to play a land for like 3 more turns in a row.
Oh my God, dude. So fucking bad. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's why Blue Farm sucks.
Blue Farm runs too many lands.
Just too many lands.
All right, let's hit another.
What's your name?
Zeb. I'm Zeb, known as Zeb of the Cube on Playing with Power.
Also known as Zeb, that Cube guy
That
on
Cube
the Howling
guy.
Salt Mine
Yep,
podcast.
ask me about my cube.
What makes you salty?
What makes me salty is when I have like this really sick hand in seat 1 with Lotho. Like, I am ready to just like go the fuck off on turn 2.
Yep.
And then seat 2, who is Alana, has Rogsai, and then just full sends a turn 1 combo kill. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, this would have been sick. And then like I'm like, hey, seat 3 and seat 4 players, you're on blue. You got anything? And they're like, no.
Oh my God.
I'm like, all right. Okay.
Well, fuck me, I guess.
I guess I'm dead. Guess I'll die. That's what makes me salty.
That's good salt. That's fresh salt.
That's
I
fresh
can tell.
salt. Yeah.
That is fresh.
Oh, that is
I dig it.
like 5 minutes ago fresh.
Oh, dude, that is so good. I appreciate the salt.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, of course.
Zeb from Playing with Power.
Shouts out to the Lotho CDH brew, though. Him and I cooked that shit up. I mean, he cooked it and I cooked it. And then we were like, what's your recipe got for the salt? How many teaspoons?
That's just brutal.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you just
Rogsai.
didn't have any chance to do anything. Like, just get fucked. That's all it is.
Zoom on that Rogsai shit. It's
I
gonna
know.
go fast.
It goes fast. That is like one of the big bummers of CDH is sometimes you just draw like the most banger hand. You're like, I have such a clear path to victory. I'm going to get a turn 2 win or a turn 3 win. Like, it's coming. And then someone else just wins ahead of you. And you're like, cool.
faster.
I'll never, ever play this hand. I'll never get it again in another game.
Yeah. I mean, that's the real travesty, right? That
Yeah.
you'll never get that hand again.
The unplayed
You'll
hand.
never get to play it. Yeah.
It is actually like a big thing to think about too when you're playing CDH is like who's the fastest deck at the table, because like you got to play your hand differently sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on whether you're actually the fastest. Granted, if I'm in seat 1 and I've got a turn 2 win attempt, I'm feeling pretty speedy.
Pretty confident there, dude.
So pretty sad when that doesn't pan out.
Yeah. All right. This next one is from the guy who said we had a good podcast.
It's a good podcast.
So what's your name?
Okay, my name is Daniel.
And what makes you salty, Daniel?
Okay, I guess there is one thing that makes me salty, and I've actually complained about it on the internet a lot, so anybody who
Hell
knows
yeah.
me, this won't be a surprise, but I have every token that all of my decks need, and I have a lot of decks, and they make a lot of tokens. And you can use a face-down magic card, that's fine, or whatever. Infinite tokens, shout out.
Yeah,
sponsored.
Infinite tokens are great.
But when people use dice as tokens,
Oh my God, yes.
it's almost, I feel like it's borderline cheating. I mean, you could intentionally cheat by using.
Yeah, because
dice
sometimes
as
stray dice are just on the board, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And you have 2 dice. One of them is 5/5s, one of them's 1/1s, and
Yeah.
you can just. I'm not going to remember that.
And this one's actually floating mana. And,
I've got
awful.
six green in the pool. So that I talked to you yesterday. I don't really get salty, but I see that and it irks me.
I mean, I think that's good salt. I like that.
Dude.
Yeah. Irksome for sure.
I fucking hate it when people use dice to represent tokens. I think that is the most like fucking sandbox schoolyard bullshit.
But you mean
when
like
people pull that out.
exclusively? Like I'm picking up a dice and this dice is now a 1/1. Not like they have a 1/1 and like I have 3 1/1s and now I'm putting a dice on it to represent the third.
Yeah,
that's totally valid.
Yeah.
If you have one card and you want to say how many you have of the die, like great. It gets a little complicated if you put plus one counters on it, but hey, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
But if you are like this 1/1 is a 1/1 and these green 3s are 3 3s, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Not.
It's just not gonna fly.
It goes in the same vein as when people are like, oh, well, I have an anthem that gives all my creatures +1/+1. So I'm just going to put like a 2 on this die over the power of all my 1/1 tokens. I'm like, please don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I can remember that they have +1/+1. Please do not add a counter where one does not exist as a game piece.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like representation of board state that pays homage to being clear.
Yeah.
But it's actually just not.
I like that.
I remember, I forget who it was. I think it might have even been you, Tony, because the thing is,
I
I'm
think
guilty
Tony
of
has
this
definitely done this with like snakes and
Yes.
Xyrus and shit.
Yep. And like I'm guilty of
And
this too.
Abasha.
Like I used to
And Gave
I
and
used to do
Marath.
that shit, you know?
I
like
have so many snake tokens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I remember I was playing against someone and they had like a set of white dice and a set of green dice, and they were setting the white dice out as like 1/1s and the green dice out as 3/3 beasts. So that example I had earlier was from like real life. And then they just had a third token and it was like fine, right? But then they had a third token type introduced and they were just like didn't have a third unique die. And it was like, well, okay, but the ones on this side of the mat are the 3/3 beasts. The ones on this side of the mat are the 1/1s. And then these ones in the middle are like the 4/4s or whatever. And it was just like, I can see it.
I can see.
It's just awful, dude. So shitty.
That's not no bueno. No bueno.
All right, let's round the bend here, folks.
Okay.
So what's your name, good sir?
Hey man, I'm Eric Number Knower. I tweet.
Hell yeah.
I do tweets.
You do tweets.
Yeah, I do a couple tweets.
And what makes you salty, Eric?
What makes me salty is when you've made the right decision by removing someone's piece or their creature, their land. But they get mad at you, but they know it was the right decision.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that gets me. Because then if you don't do it and they win, it's like, man, I should have done
I'm fucking
it.
deleting this one, man, because
Yeah.
that's the shit I do.
No, it gets me.
I will never admit that it was the right move to
gets
get rid
me,
of my shit
dude.
until like weeks later. I'll be like, yeah,
You're like, you could have done that.
actually, that was pretty good though.
Yeah. If I'm making the wrong call, I'm always down to get blown out. But if it's
Yeah.
the right call and I get yelled at, it's like, come on now.
Yeah, like it was objectively the right choice. It's hard though, man. Sometimes you just get so salty. I don't know. I feel you though. That's a good salt.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
That is good.
I should have not played this one.
You need
At least you
to.
go on record. Yeah, this is a salty confessional. Actually, this is what it was.
Dude, I'm so guilty of this one, man. Like, I will never admit that removing my shit was the right move.
No, fucking worst.
We know. It makes your complaints fall on deaf ears at this point. You are the boy who cried wolf.
Oh no, I gotta fix that, man. Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You get salty, man. I never want to admit that blowing up my shit was right.
Well, the cases where blowing up your shit was right is also the cases where that shit was really important to you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the moments that the tensions are highest during.
I'm trying to do that better, though. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. I'm not holding off for weeks anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will wait until the very end of a game and be like, yeah, that was the right move. I was about to win.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish it off with one more here.
All right, what's your name?
Josh.
And what makes you salty, Josh?
When I tell a friend or acquaintance about a new deck idea, something I've built, they ask for the deck list. They want to see it. I'm not asking for recommendations. They give recommendations. They ask me to cut the bad cards that I the deck was built around that bad card that I love. And they're like, it'd actually be optimal if you put all these like top tier removal spells and protection and combos in. I was like, well, that's kind of not the point. I didn't ask. So, thank you for the recommendations, but I'm going to keep playing this jank that I love.
That is such a true thing. Like, you show someone a deck list and they're like, did you consider this? Did you consider that? And you're like,
yeah, no, I did.
I'm not.
I've used Scryfall a few times.
Yeah. I've looked at it. I don't want that in the list, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm never going to ask you for recommendations again.
That's good salt,
Thanks,
dude.
man. Yeah,
Thank you.
I had to get off my chest. So,
I appreciate that.
A little bit of deck building salt.
That is such a good salty take, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I've unconsciously done to people and not realized.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know. It depends. It depends on if it's like like kind of to his point of like you're like, oh, you should actually just slot in all of these like higher tier, like higher power cards, as opposed to like, oh, here's this like weird janky thing. Did you find that? Like, and I feel like, to be honest, for you and Mike, like the both of you tend to be like, there's this weird fucking card. Have you found this?
Yeah.
Like, could you slot this in somewhere? And it's usually not so much of pointing a card.
I'm never gonna be like, oh, you should really put Ristic in there.
Yeah.
That is a very good point. But even then, though, like, I think there is a valid salt to being like, check out this list I just finished. And then someone's like, did you consider this? Did you consider that? It's like the list is done. You know, like I'm not looking to purchase more cards and rebuild the deck. And get back in. I've finished my brewing stage. I just want to show it off.
Honestly, for me, don't even show it to me. Play it against me, and that'll be great. But I'm not gonna be able to withhold just dumping cards. Yeah, Sam knows. I'm not gonna be able to withhold like dumping card suggestions on top of a deck that I see, because that's the first. That is my form of appreciation for, you know, the art form of deck building, is like thinking about
what if I give you 10 more things that
how my unique spin on that would be.
Lately I've been finding myself in the same space where if someone shows me a list and it's like finished, I might like peek at it and be like, hey, it seems like a cool brew, but I'm never going to do like a real deep dive looking at all the cards, because as soon as I do that, I'm going to have recommendations. And if they don't want the recommendations, like it's just wasted energy for me. You know what I mean? Like I just Scryfall searched for an hour and I think I'm giving you the hot spice and you're like, I'm not even going to read the text you sent.
I'm aware of that. It's really, it's salty in both ways. It's like giving and receiving recommendations that don't fit like the theme of the deck, or like really like kind of just don't get the vibe of what the deck is trying to do. It's frustrating on both sides, I think, because it's like, well, I guess we're not really talking about this in the same way. We can't share this excitement in the way that I thought we were going to.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why in our deck building forum in our Patreon Discord, we have a bunch of different categories. You can, like, there's a specific deck tag that says just sharing. To basically be like, don't give me advice. And then there's like a seeking advice one as well that you can tag if you want the advice, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. We hit a ton of these salty takes, and I wish we could hit them all. Believe it or not, we really just recorded like 30 minutes of audio from people, and it turns out that translates to like 20 or 30 salty takes that we got from people at the con. You know, we hope that the folks out there appreciated it. Thank you to everybody that gave us a salty take for this episode. And hopefully you found it pretty entertaining and enlightening. It was certainly fun for us to record and for us to chat about. So we hope that you guys enjoy it too.
Hopefully you like that little snippet of con life there with all the ambient joy of people casting spells happening in the background.
I really loved editing like the ambient audio. Like I toned it down a little bit. It was a little bit louder and noisier in the original cut, but there were some tracks where I could hear you guys having a conversation with someone else in the background while I'm like interviewing someone, and like someone walks up and they're like, "Are you the Howling Salt Mine guys?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I am." And you say, "Oh whoa!" Like, you know, it's just like capturing these little snippets of those fun con moments.
Did you also hear when you yelled at us for talking too close to it a couple times, once or twice?
I think I did. Yeah, I was like, "Can you guys get away from me?" I think that was literally the one I was just talking about.
Oh, I know it was. Mom yelled at us.
Shit. So no salty card of the week this week, because this is a different type of episode, but we'll be right back to the typical salt next week. That salt that you crave, that you love, that we bring up in our salt mine cart every week. That was much smoother in my head.
Yeah, it was great.
No, it was smooth in real world too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was smooth in words also. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, it was smooth like cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And a special thanks to our Salt Packet Plus tier members. You know, we got to shout them out at the end of every single episode. And this week we have Rothbox, Bathroom Entity, Bobo Fett, Randon Mousecop, Chameleon, Captain Cross, Clearbrook, Doug's Dad, Bark Bark, Firehawk Ash, Eebs, Joe Danson, Pez, Vok, D. Beeson, and Thotimus Prime. Thotimus Prime.
Oh, baby.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being
Thank
so lovely
you.
and sweet. We love all of you. We love all of our little children.
Shukran Habibi.
Hell yeah.
What?
That's thank you in Arabic.
Oh, is it? Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. And thank you to everyone else out there in Howling Salt Mine Land for tuning into another episode of the Howling Salt Mine and hanging out with us every single week. We really hope you enjoyed this one this week. And if you want more Howling Salt Mine in your life, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Howling Salt Mine. That's where you can find our extra salt series, our stray grains. You can get into our Discord. We're doing monthly game nights, sharing decks, talking about episodes as they're dropping. You know we're going to be talking about this one since there's so many friggin' salty takes to discuss. So if you want a little bit more of that Howling Salt Mine, check it out. It's a really fun time. Another way to support the show is to send us your salty stories. You can send them to us at our website, which is the Howling Salt Mine, or howlingsaltmine.com. We have a lovely little entry form that you can fill out there and send us your stories. It'll go directly to our mailbox. It's nice and easy to use. Or if you want, you can just email us at our Gmail, which is thehowlingsaltmine@gmail.com. Another way you can support us is to check out our merchandise. Most importantly, our playmats that we have for sale through jankmats.com. Our lovely friends over at Jankmats are producing high-quality products, the thickest of thickiest mats. But these mats are fucking dumpy,
the
dude.
thickest
They're
of
thicky boys.
thickiest.
Yeah, these are some like dump truck mats.
That makes them sound bad.
No, like a sweet.
Oh, they're actually dope.
Yeah, they're fucking dope. Not like trash, a dump truck, but like a juicy booty. You know?
What? Oh no.
Do you know? Have I told you this? That my brother's screen name was Juicy Booty 69.
Can that stay in the episode?
Yeah, sure. I think that's just for like a league account he doesn't use anymore.
So good.
Damn.
But these mats are thick. They are high quality images. They're beautiful products. So check them out. Some other merch that we have are our lovely bonfire shirts. It's the only place you can get Howling Salt Mine swag. We got our 1-800 Are You Flapping shirt. Blue is a trash color for trash people. All that kind of shit that you love. You can get it at our bonfire. All the links for this stuff are in the show notes, so go check it out. Another way you can support the show is to give us a 5-star review on Spotify or in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to help us stick out in the algorithm, help more people find us as our podcast gets suggested to them. And it's just going to help grow the podcast organically. It's actually kind of the number one way you can support the podcast. So if you haven't done that yet, consider doing it. It really does help us out. Another way to help us out is to go to Asheville, North Carolina and get tattooed by our buddy JD Burnett. It doesn't really help us out, but JD's cool and he deserves your business. And he also gave us our amazing podcast art that we have every single week.
10,000 subscribers or bust.
Indeed. Well, thanks again, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this lightning round of salt. We definitely did. And like I said, if you like it, let us know. We'll do more of these in the future. If you didn't like it, the best way to file those complaints are in the form of a 5-star riview in your favorite podcast app of choice. Or, pay for the highest tier in Patreon. You can just really tell us.
Yeah. We'll listen if you hit the highest tier.
All right. Stay salty, everybody. And don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Can you just edit this in earlier? Sam, I'm sorry to do this.
No,
I just want to get because it's a pen name
I never
too.
manipulate the audio for my personal gain mic. I've never ever completely re-recorded my part through a segment to make myself sound less cringe.
You can even
I've never done
this just for the actual part.
To split oh my god, what is the Golgari? Oh my god.
Whoa. Witherbloom to split Witherbloom.
Oh god.
I've had my cheeks clapped many a time by Nick specifically.
If it's like 10,
it's not going to be 10.
Yeah.
It'd be like 9. I think 4 more. We down to do 4 more?
It was 10.
Oh my God.
I know.
It was
I
at
got you
least
guys.
10.
I fucking got
It
you.
was 10. You did not get me. I knew what was going on.
But now I've trapped you.